This is Ramon.
This is Chris.
And this Let's Check In.
So, this is our show, where we kind of talk about different topics, but we also check in with each other, like, how we go in our personal life, you know what I'm saying? Man, it's been a week, you know what I'm saying? It's been a week. I was going through something called imposter syndrome. For people who don't know what imposter syndrome is basically like the feeling like you don't deserve what you want. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't really have what it takes to get what you want. Or like if you have a job, you don't deserve to be there. Those kind of things. So, recently I got laid off from the school district. So I've been trying to find work. And it's been tough to like find a job at the same kind of pay scale. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the biggest hurdle. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you go through these interviews, and I had one terrible interview last week. You know what I'm saying? It was all bad.
That bad.
I mean, it was bad. I mean, I feel like I rebounded all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't ultimately think that my interview didn't give me the job. I feel like I just didn't have the experience they were looking for, you know what I'm saying? Because they're looking for a lot of experience with adults. I work with kids mostly. So, but I was just like, on Monday, I was just like, man, I was just, I was spiraling like, man, like, what if I never, get where I need to go? Or what if I don't ever find a job? And I was going through it, you know what I'm saying? And that's not common, you know what I'm saying? Or that's not uncommon, especially with people who have like these like, higher degrees, and they feel like, like you should be somewhere already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't be having to, do X, Y, Z. I should already be there. I should have people begging for, to give me work. Yeah. And when that don't happen, I feel like it set me down. But I really just had to kind of, I had to just relax, you know what I'm saying, talk to my people, talk to my homies, I talked to some people on Twitter that that I talk to frequently, and they just kind of was letting me know that like all the stuff that I'm doing is already winning, so not to sound like that, but what I'm doing is worthy. What I'm doing is working, but. Yeah, I just was going through it on Monday, and a little bit yesterday too. But today I felt a little better. I feel like I got a nice little plan, for how I'm gonna move on. Like after I lose my job, because I do have options. I just want an easy option. I just don't have any easy options. I got like hard ass options, but they're doable and they can work out. So that's what I was going through this week, man. I was struggling with that.
Yeah, to touch on that, man, I feel like that's something that we constantly struggle as, just black men, or just, as black people, is that we're always either questioning our worth, we're always questioning, what I'm saying, am I doing, what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I, at the level that I should be at? I've accomplished, all these things, but I feel like I'm not there like I should be. I can definitely relate to that, because I've been there as well too. Just feeling like, okay, well, I've worked in this field. I should be, at another level. I feel like what I'm doing is good, but I should be doing a lot more, especially once you get your master's or you get your degree, or you've worked in different sectors and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're questioning like your worth is like, am I not good enough for these organizations? Am I not, can I be doing more? Am I challenging myself? Like, you get all these like, second guesses and this self-doubt about yourself, and it messes with your, your consciousness.
Yeah.
So I can definitely relate to that, brother. But you gotta just let that stuff go, because all it is just your inner self just like, messing with you. So you just gotta put that punk to the side, what I'm saying? Keep it pushing, and you gotta, and I think there was something that you had said earlier this morning on IG about affirmations and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the juvenile lyrics.
Yeah. I think that's real, because Affirmations are key, and if you don't know what affirmations are, it's constantly giving yourself reminders about where you want to see yourself at, or positive things, and once you project those things verbally, you can manifest it. Mm-hmm. And so if you're constantly telling yourself like I want a better job, or I want to be at another position, or I'm trying to get this degree, or I'm trying to go somewhere out the country. If you're constantly projecting that, you're eventually going to manifest it, because you're repetitiously saying these things, and it's going to be embedded into your thinking. Yeah. And so your thinking will become your reality. Your thoughts will become your reality. Mm-hmm. So I think that's major right there, though.
But yeah, so yeah, I was going through that, and you're right. What I'm saying, I just have to see some people like say, some affirmations that, man, like whatever you're doing right now is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I have to remember that, even though it don't look pretty, this is what I asked for. I asked to be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? I asked to not have a boss. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this is kind of like, it's not how I would want to do it. Of course you want to step, dues, of course you want to step out with, maybe 20 G's in the bank so you can be comfortable, but it's like, sometimes, man, it just happened. Yeah,
that's the grit and grind, I mean, I don't think everyone who is an entrepreneur, or who is starting off as trying to, be their own boss, as, becoming successful overnight. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. And it may not happen the first 2 years. It may happen, 3 or 4 years down the line. But, just don't lose that focus. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on persevering. Yeah. And, that's something that's instilled within us all, you know what I'm saying? Just as black people, because we're always persevering. I mean, if you just see everything that we've been through from, the time of, being enslaved to, like present time, I mean, we've overcame like every obstacle that they ever try to throw at us. And so this shit ain't gonna be nothing to us, man. I mean, we gonna get there, and it may not be pretty like you said, but we're gonna get there nonetheless. And I think as long as we support each other and keep encouraging each other, I think we're gonna make it though, man.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's what I was going through this week. What's going on with you, brother?
Man, shoot. I had just came back from a family trip. I was
I seen you.
Yeah. I was out in Georgia.
How much driving was that? Was it a lot of driving?
Yeah, from Atlanta to Mobile, Alabama was about like 3 or 4 hours. I'm gonna say about 4 hour drive without traffic. Oh. So prior to me going to see my family out in Georgia, I was feeling burnt out. I was feeling burnt out. For those who don't know about being burnt out, from just working at your job, is just constantly either dealing with things systematically within your organization, whether it's the clients that you serve, whether it's your coworkers getting on your nerves, or things that you see that maybe are unethical, or things that just infuriate you because of the system that's in place. Yeah. So that's what I was dealing with, and it was definitely affecting me, and it was affecting like my work. And so I was just like so focused and wanting to just leave prior to my trip, because I needed to check out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I was feeling it, every day that I was going to work. Like, I was either tired, it was taking me longer to wake up and get to work, or even get dressed. I was just losing motivation. Yeah. And I was kind of like losing my morale a little bit. And so like when you start losing that, when you start seeing that, that's when you like, no, okay, I'm feeling burnt out. Yeah. Like, I need to like get some like self-care. I need to like do some things to get me in the line. So yeah. Once I went to go see my family, like, I felt I feel like everything kind of like, just dissipated.
Yeah.
Like I saw my mom, I haven't seen her in about a year. Then I went to go see my best friend that lives out in Mobile, Alabama, and then while I was out there, I went to this place called Africa Town.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Africa Town is, I guess, not really known to a lot of people, but Africa Town is a little town that was settled by the last descendants of African slaves that were brought over from Benin, which is the west part of Africa, and they were the last African slaves that were taken, stolen from their land, and brought over to Mobile, Alabama. And there's actually like a huge history that isn't really talked about until now, because there was the ship, I guess, that they used to take folks from over in Benin and bring them over to Mobile. And they said that they couldn't find the ship, but apparently the ship surfaced.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of archaeologists. There's been like National Geographic. There's been all these people that are coming into Mobile, wanting to see the ship and wanting to learn more of history and stuff. And so it was really interesting. Like the guy who kind of gave us the tour, his name was Major Womack, I believe. And so
Womack.
Yeah. Bobby Womack.
That sound like 100% black dude.
Right,
like,
but
Womack. Okay.
But it's crazy because when I was in Africa Town, man, I saw like a lot of the people, and they looked like straight like descendants of like Africans. I mean, just from like the pigmentation, from like the attributes, features, and you know what I'm saying. Like especially like the nose. The nose like very like definitive like of like West Africans, man. And so. Yeah, he would just tell me about the history and how they settled there. They had land, but there was like another downside to like that story was that the land that they thought that they bought was actually it wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
It was actually they were leasing it under to someone who was like a wealthy white dude, and stuff, and so they were paying for the land, but they didn't really have necessarily like ownership and stuff, and so right. But the coldest part was like now there's like this school that was there, and it was like one of the significant schools that they had like all like the black kids and the descendants of the folks from Africa Town, go to school at and stuff. And they said that they built a pipeline under the school, and they said that pipeline and some other like things that were like causing them to like have like cancer and a lot of like health ailments and stuff, and like they purposely like did that stuff though, man. Like even like with the water and stuff too, like it's polluted, and they like purposely do that. Like they were talking about like environmental,
like still to this day.
Yeah, still to this day, like they were talking about like a lot of environmental injustices and stuff over there, because like most big corporations are like putting like whether it's steel mills or whether it's like just like other like material like type of plants and stuff. They put them over there in like province-stricken areas and stuff, and so they do that intentionally, and the folks that are living in that area, which are mostly black, are getting sick and are dying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they pass on, those health ailments, on to like the kids and stuff, and it was just like a really messed up story, man.
That don't sound like no vacation.
It's not a vacation, but I mean, it's a reality that happens, throughout the U.S. and stuff, and so. Although there was like a history to it, but it was also like a harsh reality too that is still being perpetuated. So but so besides that, that story, but we traveled also to like Destin, Florida, and there I was on the beach with, you know, my mom, my best friend, her kids, and her grandma, and you know, we just had a good time. We just, you know, being beach bums, and
Yeah.
you know, just seeing the water, and you know, just hearing the ocean. Man, it was beautiful. The water was warm. It was clear and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I seen a little IG
Yeah.
IG video.
Yeah.
I said, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
so it was just nice because like I just felt really calm at that point. Like everything that I, you know, was dealing with, you know, prior to my trip, like it just seemed like it just alleviated
Yeah.
everything I was experiencing. So like that was like, you know what I'm saying, real huge for me. Like that was like pretty much like the highlight. That was one of the highlights of my trip, but the other highlight was also seeing my nieces. And if anybody know me, that I love my nieces to death and I do anything for them. And so
Yeah.
just seeing them, interacting with them, and just seeing how, you know, tall and how smart they are, and you know, like I was just like, okay, now I'm at peace. I feel like I
Yeah.
accomplished everything. I spent time with my family. I spent time with my friends. I spent time with my nieces and stuff. And so I was like, I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Yeah.
So I came back, you know, rejuvenated. I felt like, you know, I was more aligned and stuff. And so I'm cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
That's what's
Cool.
up. I always got a rule of thumb. If I start dreaming about work, it's time for a vacation.
Yeah. For real.
You feel me?
For real.
So, all right. Well, okay. So we checked in. We're gonna go to our next topic, our topic of the night, and it's about life crises. And we're gonna take a little break, and we'll be right back. All right, now we are ready. We are back. Cool.
We're back.
So we back. We're gonna talk about life crises, and you know, since school's out, I'm gonna talk about something I dealt with when I was in undergrad. If you listen to my podcast, you heard me talking about this before. But it's when I was about a sophomore in college. Well, it took me 4.5 years, so I really don't know when I was a sophomore, when I was a junior. But second year of college, you know what I'm saying. I used to be real big. I used to be like, you know, I used to be a big guy. I'm still a big guy, but I was like, goddamn, you're a big dude. You feel me? So I'm dealing with that. And I remember, you know, I was thinking like, man, I need to lose a lot of weight. You know, so I did end up losing like maybe 70 pounds.
Yeah.
You feel me? 70 pounds. But I was chasing something that I thought I needed. Mm-hmm. So I was depressed. I was trying to fit in. I had all these good looking friends and they was getting all these, you know, they was having fun. And I mean, I was having some fun, but I was like, you know, I was always kind of like the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes,
yeah.
you know, and then like, I just wasn't feeling right. So, you know, but one thing I wanted to be like a ladies' man. You feel me? I wanted to do that. And I was like, well, I gotta lose weight to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. And that still didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So it low-key made my depression worse. You know what I'm saying? Like I was drinking heavy. Like I was drinking all the time. I would like the mission was to black out drunk. Like, and it wouldn't matter if I was the DD or not. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, hey, we all going out. You know what I'm saying? So we going out, we gonna get faded. And, you know, then I would like, every time where I call my mom and I'd be like sad, I'd be like crying, drunk, you know what I'm saying? Just because I just was a mess. You know what I'm saying? And I really didn't know that really until like I left college. Yeah. And looking back at it, it was like damn, like I was in a bad spot. You know what I'm saying? I was like low key suicidal. You know what I'm saying? I talked to my mom about it. You know what I'm saying? Like what would happen if I did that? You know what I'm saying? And I, you know, and me and her kind of talked it out. But I just remember like, you know, like I remember chasing that one thing. I was, like I said, I was about 275. At my lowest weight in college, I was like 205. I was little, you know, said I was small, you know, but I wasn't doing it to shake diabetes. I wasn't doing it, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, because I had high blood pressure. I still didn't have high blood pressure when I was that big, which is weird, you know what I'm saying, but I wasn't doing it for like healthy reasons. I was doing it because I wanted to get some, I was trying to, I was trying, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But it's still, it was, like I was a little more confident, a little more social.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it still didn't fulfill what I was trying to fulfill, and it just made it worse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just know, like, I say that, share this story, just like, you know what I'm saying, whoever going with, like, whoever has, like, image problems, you know what I'm saying, it's like, yeah, I know we chase these things, people have, like, these ideas of what we're supposed to look like, or you have this idea of what it feels like to look like that, or, but it ain't always what it's cracked up to be, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I did it, and I probably was more messed up just because I thought it was going to work. And it didn't work as much as the work I put in to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put in a lot of work to get there. And, it was cool to get some compliments. It was good to be able to, like, walk around in a tank top and a small shirt. You know what I'm saying? That shit was all right. But it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, I thought it would, like, be way tighter.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, like I said, I was low key suicidal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was, like, I was low key. Like I said, man, I remember times calling my mom and just be like, man, what's going on? I'm not happy. Like, I just don't want to deal with nothing. And so that was definitely a life crisis that I dealt with. So
what was, like, the thing that pulled you out from just being in that dark place?
Well, I don't want to sound corny, but I met my wife.
Okay.
So life wasn't really about, like, going out no more. So I just kind of outgrew that stage of life. You know what I'm saying? I found my girlfriend at the time, started doing stuff with her.
Yeah.
Settled down. You know what I'm saying? So really things like that, leaving college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Leaving that kind of toxic environment, going home with some family. Being around family for, like, just being around people that genuinely love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying my roommates didn't love me, but, roommates love you in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but just kind of just being around support. You know what I'm saying? Being around support. But then I had another crisis when I got home because I thought I was going to get a job real quick after college, and I didn't.
Oh, man.
So I dealt with that, but we can say that for another episode, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so, being around my mom a lot, like you just said, like, like I remember you said earlier, you see your mom in a year. I'm like, damn, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
That kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, that
she
kind of
frequently calls me, though. She calls me
and that's
every day.
Yeah, it's so really her pulling me out, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of just letting me know that life ain't really what's cracked up. Like, life ain't about that bullshit you worried about. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even gonna worry. Like, in 3 years, you're gonna look down your road and be like, oh man, I was tripping.
Yeah.
But that was a time where I was going through some crises. You know what I'm saying? A young 20-something-year-old.
Yeah, just filled with hormones, and
man,
he was in college at that time too. So it was,
and smoking all day and drinking all day didn't help.
Nah,
I'm not an anti-weed, but I'm definitely, the way I was smoking, I'm anti that. That was no good.
You
that
like
was
Cheech and Chong smoking.
Man, it was bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it will alter my whole day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then look now, like I know people like that where I'm trying to leave and they're like, oh, I gotta smoke real quick. It's like, nigga, what? Like, bro, we gotta go, bro. It's like, no, that's kind of cheap real quick.
Roll real quick.
It's like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now I just know, like, that annoys me now. So I can only imagine, like, but then everybody did that when I was coming up, but it still wasn't cool. I would be late to class. Like, if I was going to class, people were smoking, I would turn back around. So it was bad. I was going through it in my undergrad years, man. I'm lucky I made it out, you know what I'm saying, and I'm the person I am today. I tell my clients I ain't perfect. I done been through a whole lot of stuff, So that was the life crisis that I dealt with.
Man, I could kind of say something that kind of resonates with what you went through. I know I was a freshman in college.
College, man.
College, man. You be going through the worst. The worst. College is definitely that development stage where you're going to figure out who you really are as an individual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to figure out who you are and your friends and everything else is going to determine like you as an individual and who you're going to be like 5-10 years down the line.
Yeah.
But for me, mine was a relationship. I was in this little I was in this high school relationship, and I thought, I met the ideal, woman at the time, or right. Because at the end of that show, I was like,
my fault. Go ahead.
But back to what I was saying, though. As Metal Gear
you feel me?
interrupted me, but so I was in a relationship, and I really cared about this individual. Thought I was in love, didn't know what love was, but whatever that I experienced at that time, I thought it was like the closest thing to it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, intelligent. We were both in college. She went to school out in Oregon. Of course, I went to school out in the South, and so we were, doing a long distance relationship thing, and so it was working. I was going to see her pretty often, whether it was like for breaks, or just whether it was just just to surprise her, just to come out there. And so I was like, just determined, to like, make this work, make this long distance relationship work, because I had friends in college that were, doing the same thing. Like, they were keeping contact with their girls, they would come out and visit, they do and stuff. I mean, you had like, ladies that were like, back home, and they were coming to see they do out in Alabama and stuff. So I was like, dang, like the love is real. So,
yeah, that's some real love right there.
Right. So I was in the same mix. And I think it was like sometime after my first semester, things started to get a little rocky and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, I know because she told me. We had this conversation. I mean, we're cool now, but she was telling me that she felt that I was messing with these girls because I'm in the South. Girls are a little bit more thicker.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, female to male ratio and stuff. And so
it's out there for you.
It was out there, but yet I wasn't, impressing none of them. I was like, men don't cheat. Like I was like living up to that for real though. For real.
Holding it down.
I was holding it down, and so I was just trying to make everything work, and I think it was like, Valentine's Day 2002.
Okay.
Man, remember the date and everything. Man. I went to go and see her for Valentine's Day. Bought her flowers, and we went out to eat. I couldn't afford them. We went to, I think, IHOP or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Red Robin's or something.
Okay.
But I would try to make it work with $1 and some change, and then when like I was out there, we were like just getting into like these arguments and shit, just like petty arguments, and I was just wondering to myself, like where's this all coming from, and I think what I came to find out, and what I instinctively just start to like realize was that maybe it's somebody else. And come to find out it was somebody else, and they happen to be a football player too.
Where at? At U of O or something?
Yeah, U of O.
Oh, who was it?
I know. I don't know shit. I don't know the nigga.
I
know who he is, but I don't know him personally. I mean, I don't know him personally.
What's his name?
Yeah, I don't even know the dude's name. I mean, like that I care.
Did he go to
I
NFL?
remember. Nah, he didn't.
You don't love us! You don't love us! Let it be known it!
Nah, he didn't. And so I come to find out from her best friend, which was also my friend as well too, that she ended up getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying?
By a dude?
By a dude, yeah.
While you was with her?
After we broke up.
Okay.
So like that shattered my little 19-year-old heart at the time and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, Oh, sick.
He was sick.
I was like, man, I done came out and like saw you paid like, you know what I'm saying, like
$15 for these
right.
pancakes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Drop some change for a ticket to come out and see you like
Oh, yeah,
numerous
you know
of
that's
times and
change.
stuff. And so like I was just like sick, man. I was sick. I didn't know how to like, you know, deal with that. And so I would just like, you know, just soaking in my room, you know what I'm saying? Just not wanting to like do anything. My homeboys, you know, would always like knock on my dorm, be like, hey, let's go out. I'm like, nah, I'm chilling. I'm chilling and
trying
stuff.
to play it off.
Trying to play it off. And then, you know, started drinking a lot, you know. We're drinking, you know what I'm saying, old Mickey's, OEs. You know, it came for no like real alcohol, you know, back in college. So you had to get the dirtiest of the dirt.
Well, when I was in my freshman year of college, I was a little older. I was 21. So I was able to get, you know, Potters.
Oh, God. Not to say that we couldn't get like alcohol because I mean out there, I mean you can go to like I think it was like well back in Tuskegee it was called Macon Hotel, and you can just go in there. You be 18, you can be damn near 15 years old. You get you a bottle.
Don't snitch on that.
I'm pretty sure that place don't exist no more. I don't even think it exists no more.
They been shut that shit
down.
down.
They probably shut that shit down a long time ago though. But
yeah.
So yeah, I was going through it. Didn't know how to deal with, you know what I'm saying, you know, a breakup like that. Didn't know how to deal with, you know, just hearing that news. And so it just like, you know, messed with me like psychologically. And, you know, I started to, you know, doubt myself. I'm like, you know, am I not good enough? You know, what did I do wrong? You know, I'm a good dude. You know, I didn't cheat. I did everything I was supposed to do. And so I just started just questioning, you know what I'm saying, just, you know, just being in relationships.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this shit. Like, you know, I should have been a savage like I should have been prior, you know, before meeting you. But I was like, nah, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And like that messed me up because I never had that happen to me. You know how you've like always like, you know, I guess be the quote unquote player.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you fall for somebody and then like that shit hurt when they like, you know, break your heart. Like that shit was me.
Yeah.
And so I started feeling like, you know, low key like depressed and stuff because I didn't want to leave my room. I was staying up late. I didn't want to eat nothing. Like I started like, you know, messing up in school and stuff. And so it started like, you know, affecting me and I just didn't know how to deal. My mom even told me, was like, you know, everything okay? I'm like, nah. Like I remember she was
honest, hell no.
I was like, nah. I was like, for real, I'm not. I remember she took me out to eat. I think we went to the Golden Corral.
Okay.
Because that's what they had out there.
Yeah,
that was real popular in the South. We ain't got that in Portland until just a couple years ago.
I heard it even cracking like that.
Yeah, it ain't even cracking like that. And so she had told me, she was like, you know, is everything okay? I'm like, nah, nothing's not going good over here. I was like, you know, I just broke up, you know, with my girl, and you know, it just really hurt. And she just saw it all in my face and stuff. I'm just looking all down like a little sad puppy. And what kind of got me over that whole situation was, like you said, you know, I had support.
Yeah.
I had, you know, my buddies from college. I remember, I think it was that song by Usher that came out. It was like, you don't have to call.
Oh, that was
That was my bounce back. I was like, what's that song come like? Hey, what's that song come like? At the night, don't leave the girl around me. I was like, man, feel myself.
Shit, okay.
I was feeling myself.
I ain't mad at that.
That was my music to like, you know what I'm saying, get me in good spirits and stuff. And I had my homeboys.
That was a cut.
Shout out to Lamille. Shout out to Emery. Yeah, they definitely pulled me through because we were actually going through the same similar thing. I think we had all broke up with like our girl or something like that in some kind of fashion. And so we were just all, you know, there for each other and just, you know, talked about it, went out. And, you know, over time, you know, I just started, you know, getting out of that shell of, you know, being in the room. I started, you know what I'm saying, just going out to, you know, functions and stuff. I went back to Portland and kicked it with, you know, a lot of my folks back home, my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I just eventually got over it. It took me a while. It actually took me a couple of years though to like really, really get over it. Like it took me a while, but eventually I got over it though because that was That was probably like the hardest breakup I ever like, you know what I'm saying, experienced though, man. Well, one of them in my like teenage years though.
Yeah. Do you think that has like a long lasting effect on you in any shape or form?
Yeah, as much as, you know, as men try to deny, you know, our feelings about how we feel about, you know, women, that shit really hurts us, you know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are. I mean, you may be a savage, but like, you know, real talk, I mean, it's gonna hurt you in some way. Whether you like, you know, call her all kind of like, you know, degrading, you know what I'm saying, like names or whatever, because right there you're experiencing or you're expressing emotion.
Yeah.
So you care to some, you know what I'm saying, extent. I mean, even if, you know what I'm saying, dudes like, you know, try to like hit on girls or whatever, I mean, not to say that's a good way to express how you feel, but
Yeah.
they care to some, you know what I'm saying, extent, because it's causing them to have this kind of reaction and stuff. And not to say that's like a healthy reaction, because it's not. I don't, you know, condone dudes hitting women at all. That's some punk stuff. But you know, you gotta find, you know, definitely better ways to, you know, express how you're feeling. You know, you can't suppress those things, because when you do it, of course, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, respond to it in an unhealthy way. So
Yeah. Definitely. Don't never hold nothing in.
Nah, you gotta talk about it. You know, you can't. I always say this, and this is, you know, a quote from Jay-Z: "You can't hear what you don't reveal, and if you don't, you know what I'm saying, reveal those things within you, you know, it's gonna come out in an ugly way, one way or the other." So I was just lucky to, you know, have people to, you know, be support. For me, I was lucky to have, you know, friends back home to, you know, get me through it. I was definitely happy for Usher for coming out with that song, that banger.
That was a banger.
That was a banger.
I can't even dub. That was a cut.
Yeah. So I was cool, man. I eventually was cool, you know, after a while though. But it took some time though.
Yeah.
Definitely took some time.
All right, man. Well, that's all we got for this episode. Appreciate y'all checking in with us. If you got any questions, we do have an email now. It's letscheckin19@gmail. We on Facebook too. You know, a lot of y'all followed us. I appreciate that. You can
appreciate the love.
You can write on our wall. You can write in our DMs. Whatever you want to do. If you're interested in coming on and talking some stuff about your own journey and mental health and things like that, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all be easy.